I wanted to show you the forms that I use for this project. I cut these out myself out of a kind of a high density foam using one of these box cutters, just cutting down in like this. And I cut the inside part that I used to cut my blank, and then this part for forming the plate. I have my slab rolled out, and I'm going to use this square part of the form as a guide. And the first thing I'm going to do is cut my square out of the slab using a needle tool and a straight edge, keeping the needle straight up and down. I'm going to set these aside and use these later. So I'm going to go all the way around and cut this square. Now I've got these scrap pieces that I cut off the square, and made sure that the edges are sitting there straight. And I'm going to take this piece of aluminum window trim, just happens to be a 1/2 inch right here, which is what I need, and I'm going to lay that along the side, and I'm going to cut me 4 bars of clay, which are about a 1/2 inch by a 1/2 inch. Cut each of those with a wire tool or a needle tool again, straight down. Okay, I'll start out next by putting a little clay slip along this edge of the square plate, and I'm going to take the 4 clay bars that I just cut out. I'm going to put them around the edge, attach them, and recess the first bar down, back in a little bit, so when the other one comes around it'll butt right up against there. And I'm going to cut these flush for this particular version, and go around, clay slip up against the bar, down along the edge there, and butt that up against there, give a little push. Cut these off square and go all around like that until I got all 4 on. I've attached all 4 of those clay bars down to the surface of the plate blank with clay slip. Now I'm just going to put another piece of sheetrock on top of that and kind of tap those down a little bit to help them sit down in closer contact all the way around. And then I'm going to set this to the side to stiffen up for a little while till the next stage. In another version of this plate, instead of cutting these bars off flush at the corner, I've let a little bit hang over, and I'm just going to, when I do that, I just kind of mold each of those corners in and round them over just a little bit. And I do that all the way around for that version of the plate. For this next stage, I put the plate back on the slab roller and I've increased the distance from the bed of the roller to the roller from a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch, and I'm going to press these bars down into the plate, but not completely mash them down in flat. Roll it both ways. And here I've pressed those bars down in enough to stick them and flatten them out, but leave me this little bit of line around here on the inside, which I like. See? Now I'm just going to set this to the side and let it stiffen up till the next stage. Next stage, I will take the slab that I just re-rolled and pressed those 4 bars down into the sides and center it on the foam mold as best I can. And I'm going to take the interior part of that mold and to center it, take this piece of plywood, which I have measured to about the inside diameter of the bottom of the plate. Press that in good and firm all the way around. That starts to give me the form that I initially want, while the clay is still fairly soft and malleable. And then after I've done that, I'm going to take and flip that over on another sheetrock bat very gently. Set them down very gently. If you set them down too hard, the floor will start to sag in. You'll get other deformations around there. So flip it over on there, and then just move it to the side and let it stiffen up to the next stage. Now I'm going to take the plate after it's stiffened up a little bit more and it's not sticky, just past being sticky, and I'm going to drop it back down in the foam mold again. Try to get it right in the center. And now I'm going to texture the inside with a texturing tool I carved out of a block of a leather hard clay. Place that in the corner. And you can just stop there if you want to and just leave it. But I'm going to flatten this out a little bit on the edges. And then you can stop there then. But I'm going to go ahead and texture it with a piece of hemp rope. You can texture this edge with virtually any kind of a texturing tool. I'm just going to roll the rope firmly and gently over the edge. And then I'm going to flip it over again on another sheetrock bat. And I'm going to set that off to the side to stiffen a little bit more before we go on to the next stage. The plate where I have let the each bar hang out over the edge, it's a little more looser type form, and I'm centering it in the mold, and I'm going to texture it again. And for this plate, I'm just going to smooth out a little bit and just leave it. This one's pretty much done till it's dry, and it's time to glaze. Alright, this is the plate where I laid and pressed the 4 bars around it, and I just butted them up against each other, and I didn't have the overhang. And then I rolled the edge flat, and then I textured it with the rope. And now there's 2 more processes I'm going to do to this particular plate before it's ready to dry and be glazed. And I'm going to take and I'm going to cut all 4 edges straight. I'm going to use an X-Acto knife for this. It cuts pretty straight and clean. Go all the way around, and that's going to make this version of the plate much cleaner and neater, kind of a tighter form as opposed to the other one. It was quite loose, and I'm just going to cut all the way around on this. I've cut all 4 sides straight down, real sharp, and it has left me 4 sharp edges on the bottom side and 4 on the top side. So I'm going to take that edge off because it's a little too sharp for me. So I'm going to use this leather working tool that you could probably find at a tandy shop or any other leather working shop. And gently, with even pressure all the way down the side, just peel that right off. And here I am on the top side of the plate, and I'm going to take these 4 edges off again. But I wanted to show you a close-up of how this tool works. Just real even pressure, and you know your clay's right when it peels right off, just like that. And you want to keep real even pressure from the beginning to the end, because the tendency is to ease up right at the end, like that. And then I'm just going to smooth those corners out and blunt that corner a little bit because it chips too easy, and then this guy will be ready for glazing. I just real quick wanted to show you the difference of these 2 plates, the 2 versions of the square plate that I made. One I did not flatten out, I left the overhangs on, and I didn't flatten the rim down, and I just textured the inside. You can see it's kind of a looser type form. And then this is the other version where I flattened the edges down, and I textured the inside and the outside a little bit, and then I cut and rounded the edges a little sharper. So that's a little bit of a more tight type of a form. And that's all. Thanks for watching. Bye.